Hey, yo, it's day 36. So, you know why I like to do really nerdy things like watch wrestling? I know it's something that a lot of people don't like to admit, but it's a very popular thing. Millions of people watch it every week, but we all have our different reasons. And some people get very obsessed about it and they talk about it constantly. Some people barely check in on it every few weeks, and everybody in between. I'm somewhere in between, like with most things. Because one of the reasons I like to watch wrestling is for the nuance, the little Easter eggs, as it were. Like, who's that in the background? That kind of thing. Uh, and the moments where you can tell someone's trying to get everyone else to break character. That's some of the best stuff. It's not always about the uh, the 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 trash talking and the simulated fights and the sometimes very really painful looking things that that they do in wrestling rings. And I'm sort of talking to people who aren't fans here. I don't assume that everyone is a wrestling fan, even though, like I said, millions of people watch it every week. But not everybody grew up on it. I'm from, I guess, what you would consider the deep South. It's a red state. I didn't pick it. This is where I grew. This is where I was born. I have not managed to leave it yet for more than a week or so. Um, that's a whole different story. But growing up in the South, particularly in like the 80s and 90s, it was a big thing. It was very popular. It was pretty much just as popular as like college football is now. Like pretty much everybody was talking about, oh man, did you hear what Ric Flair said or whatever, high school every day going like talking about Stone Cold and The Rock, all that good stuff. But it was something that we always understood was a bit of an act. Everybody liked to debate whether it was real or not real. Is anything you're seeing on this little box or whatever size you're watching this on, is any of it real? That's what you got to ask yourself. But that's a whole different video. But that's another reason why I like to watch wrestling. How much of it's real? How much of it's getting just put on for show? The nuance, the little things, the details. That's what I really like. And also, let's be honest. It's fun to watch people play out essentially an '80s action movie right in front of you. It's all one-liners, just dudes getting in each other's faces, and sometimes women too, depending on which show you're watching, I guess. But yeah, it's conflict, which is something we all deal with every day, but played out not to 10 but to like 11, 12, 13. Break the knob off, you know because you have disagreements with your coworkers, but you don't settle them in a cage match with weapons. You know what I mean? You do that trash talking maybe, but ain't there a coworker in your past or something, or maybe even now, that maybe you do want to put them through a table? Well, you get to live vicariously by watching wrestling. That's one of the many reasons why people watch it. But it's kind of like that one old explanation where I won't mention who it is because I don't want to provoke any tribalism. But he basically explains wrestling like, all right, you see two people fighting on the side of the road, and that gets your attention for a moment. But if you know the two people fighting on the side of the road, you're gonna stop and you're gonna cheer the one guy that you like on, because that guy that he's fighting is an asshole, and you really want to see him get his ass beat because he so deserves it. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's just another TV show, and sometimes the news feels like that too, doesn't it? Like just a TV show. How much of it is real? You know, how much of this, how much of the information that we ingest on the internet constantly is actually real? But again, a whole nother video. But it's funny to see so much of the rest of the world, particularly America, realizing now that, for I guess lack of a better way to put it, everything is pro wrestling. It's optics, it's perception, it's how you come across. You can choose to put a lot of thought into it, or you can choose to just sort of let it happen. And it seems like in wrestling, they sort of just let it happen and then react off of it. But they know how to react off of it because somebody taught them or they learned on their own. You know, it's an interesting form of entertainment that I dipped my toe into briefly. Not as a wrestler, although I know how to collar and elbow, take the headlock, run the ropes, all that good stuff. Notice I said take the headlock. Pause? No, no pause. Anyway, uh, if you've never watched pro wrestling before, give it a shot. You know, there's different companies, different flavors. Some talk more than others, and that's not a dig at anybody. The one I like the most, well, tied for first. They don't do a whole lot of talking during the show. Well, you know, enough. They do most of the talking in like the press conferences after the show. But you know, different flavors, like I said, man. But do you like anime? Would you like to maybe see people play out similar things in real life? Then yeah, maybe check out some pro wrestling. But that's my hobby. That's the thing that I personally get into.